So I haven't taken a video in a while because it's cold. Um, when I got to where I wanted to be, up on that ridge, which took me longer to get there than when I originally planned, um, my gloves were a little wet and I was thirsty. So I went ahead and ground my gear, took my gloves off, started closing up the vent parts of my fleece pants, um, and zipping up the Gore-Tex. Kind of looked like I was wearing bell bottoms for a while. It's pretty funny. Um, and I drank some water, which was probably maybe not exactly a bad decision, but that definitely hurt. Drinking the ice cold water and stopping all of a sudden, regardless of how many pieces of clothes I put on, it was very, very cold. I shivered for about 45 minutes. I know you're not supposed to shiver in kind of survival situations, um, but I did. It was cold. um, I was very, very glad that I brought the uh, heaviest jacket that I own. Um, this crazy guy, uh, it's kept me alive. I really believe that right now. Um, I brought an extra pair of gloves that I was like, well, if it gets really warm, I'll wear those. These guys, which are just like thin mechanic gloves, um, they were the only dry gloves I had at that point, and they were much warmer than the cold, wet gloves that I had marched up in. So it's kind of a lesson to learn for the future. Um, Wear the gloves you don't want to keep you warm on the hike out because they will be wet by the time you get where you're going if it's snowing, which it is. As you can see, I'm just standing here getting snow on me. Um, I know that I could eat to try and warm up, and I did. At about 11:30, decided to eat and try and warm up that way. It helped. But the biggest thing that helps you stay warm, in my experience out here in the Arctic, is actually moving around. If you have the energy to move around, um, decide where you want to go first. Like, really think about it because it can take a while. Um, but moving around helps probably more than anything else. More than eating, more than maybe even bundling up, to be completely honest. Now, um, exciting news, I saw a wolf, and disappointing news, I did not kill the wolf. I wasn't exactly coming out here for wolf, but I do have wolf tags just in case. I thought taking home something it would be better than nothing. And I imagine my little girls and and wolfskin jackets would have been pretty damn cool. um, but my rangefinder was too fogged up to know how far it was, and it was very far. I'm gonna guess that it was about 700 meters. And I said, well, if I can get a good shot, I'm gonna try and take it. And I had what I thought was three good shots. Now I'm down to one round. Um, I've never needed to pack more ammunition than this. So that's kind of another lesson learned for the future. Pack more ammo. Even if it's just 10 or 15 more rounds, it can make a big difference. I took three shots at the wolf. It was very, very far, and I thought, hey, even if I wound it, I will track it down. And I did not do either one of those things, wound it or track it down. It kept stopping and looking at me, and I think that's why I wanted to keep shooting. But I had a couple of major factors that played against me. One, that is too far for me, and I know that. Um, but the cold and the excitement really got to me. Um, Two, I was still shivering at the time. This was before I had eaten and decided to walk more. And trying to shiver through a 750 yard shot is something I would imagine you have to train for more than obviously I have. Um, let's see what else. Um, oh yeah, my rifle does fire in the cold, which is really nice because it's very frosty, and I was worried that it wouldn't. At certain points, I was like, damn, I should have got something to wrap it in or some kind of jacket basically for my rifle. Fired anyway, but the optics on it, my scope that I have mounted on it, fogged up very, very, very quickly and made it really difficult to try and shoot through the fog and the distance and the shivering. So I think that even if it had been at 100 yards, I might have still missed. So at this point, it's about 1:40, 12:40, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and yeah, it's 12:40. Okay, 12:40 in the afternoon, and I have one round left. I've eaten one of my meals, and all of my water's now frozen. I tried to keep it warm, but when I was sitting and looking for animals, that's when it froze, and I'm too cold to try and warm it up myself. That's where I'm at. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang out until I start to get cold again, which shouldn't take too long. And then I'm going to turn around and go back. I'm thinking it's going to take me 3.5 to 4 hours to get back, even though a majority of it's going to be downhill. And that's going to put me at roughly 6 o'clock or so, which is only an hour before sunset. And with the temperatures the way that they are and the visibility the way that it is, I think that's the best I can hope for today. I'll carry more ammunition, or maybe I'll just call it a day and head home after this. I'll need basically almost a day and a half or 2 days to drive all the way home. I know at one point my wife looked and I was 900 miles from home. So yeah, it's pretty far, especially on the Dalton Highway. I'll give you guys an idea of what I'm trying to hunt through. This is the environment. It's snowing and visibility has dropped a lot. You can see actually directly behind me over this shoulder, and you can't even see it, well, maybe you can see it a little bit, are some mountains back there. And every time I look, I make sure that I can see them. It's kind of some kind of beacon so that I know, okay, that way south. I know the camp is east of here. Just as a general way of not getting lost if I do get turned around. Although I'm pretty good at following tracks, and I could follow my own tracks out of here at least. Oh, speaking of tracks, my boots that were frozen this morning, it was actually a really good thing they were, because I'm wearing my snow boots, and even though when I originally looked at the weather, it was like, oh, 30s and 50s, cake, you know what I mean? It's much colder than that, and I was like, oh, I'll bring my snowshoes just so that I have a pair of shoes I can get wet if I need to. Best decision to bring them, even though it was almost an accident, but I brought them in. The snowshoes are probably the best thing out here in the actual snow. They were terrible on the rocks on the walk up here though. So here I am, one round left in my 30-06, cold, tired, and all my water is frozen. Note to self, boil a little extra water and have warm water starting out on the trip. It'll be worth it. I'm not sure that I'm going to hunt tomorrow. This is very hard, and it's very hard to see, and with optics fogging up when I do finally get a shot, it's a little disheartening, but very exciting. This has all been an excellent adventure, and I look forward to coming here next summer when it's warm and like I'm sweating a bunch. I would drink all this water that's not frozen, and maybe have a friend or two, or the family. If I can drag them out here this far. I think that if I come with a group of people, I would like to bring the camp all the way out here, make the the extra effort and then stay for much longer. And yeah, maybe something like that. I'm already dreaming of next summer, even though I'm about 6.5 or 7 miles out from camp. Um, not bringing anything home just yet. So, wish me luck that I don't get too thirsty, that I can find my way back, and that maybe my next shot will be a much closer one inside my skill range, and that I don't fog up the scope too much. Um, yeah, wish me luck.